a small tornado warning. This is for the southeastern portions of Cleveland County. So again, if you live in the Grover community, Bullen Springs, you're fine. Patterson Springs, you're fine. Earl, you're fine. The threat has passed you. Shelby, the threat has passed you. But if you live in Grover, in Kings Mountain, the outer fringes of Kings Mountain, you need to be in your safe place now as this tornado warning continues for a couple of more minutes, about 12 more minutes. The latest indication is the tornado warning was canceled for northeastern Cherokee County. It's just a small portion of Cherokee County, South Carolina that was in this. But again, the tornado warning remains in effect until 2 p.m. for southeastern Cleveland County. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 6 miles southeast of Shelby, or near the community of Grover. This storm is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. Again, this is radar indicated rotation. There's no confirmation of a tornado being on the ground. So again, this is radar indicated. So you need to be in your safe place right now, most interior part of your room or interior part of your house, lowest level, preferably in a basement. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Avoid any windows from glass breaking. If you're outside, you need to be finding a safe shelter to be inside. So Whitney's asking if Shelby is fine. Shelby, North Carolina, you are going to see some heavy rain, maybe even some gusty winds, but the rotation is to your southeast, so you should be fine. But if you live in Grover, and even the outer portions of Kings Mountain, you need to be in your safe place as this thunderstorm, with some rotation, continues to move to the east at 30 miles per hour. So again, some highways would be Highway 74, Highway 74 Business, Interstate 85, Highway 29. Let's pull up a couple more highways I have here on our radar product here. Highway 161 and 216. If you live in those areas in the southeastern portions of Cleveland County, you need to be in your safe place. So again, Shelby, you are clear. Bullen Springs, you are clear. Patterson Springs, you are clear of this warning. But Grover and the outer portions, the most western portions of Kings Mountain, you need to be in your safe place as this thunderstorm continues to move. There is the possibility that a tornado can form with this storm. There's still some rotation in there. But again, if you live in the Grover community and western Kings Mountain area, you need to be in your safe place as this thunderstorm continues to move through. These storms are producing some lightning. You can see some lightning occurring outside of the storm. But again, we've had a lot of heavy rain over the western North Carolina area this morning and into the early afternoon hours. So these storms could be producing some 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and that's enough to bring down some trees. So even if you don't see a tornado, there is a threat of seeing some damaging winds with this storm because of the saturated soil. So again, this tornado warning goes for another 9 minutes. This is for the Grover community in Kings Mountain. This is in southeastern Cleveland County along Highway 29 and Interstate 85. That is where this rotation indicated by radar. So this is not a confirmed tornado. There is no tornado on the ground as of yet. I haven't seen any reports of anyone seeing tornadoes or even any damage. But again, there is enough rotation on radar to prompt this tornado warning. So that means you need to be in your safe place, lowest level of your home. You want to be preferably in a basement, but if you don't have a basement, you want to be in the most interior part of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You want to make sure that you have something that is over your head, preferably a helmet, a big, heavy, thick blanket, a mattress or something like that to protect you from any flying debris. You also want to make sure that you have some sort of eye protection. If there is any flying debris, you don't want it to get in your eyes. And you want to make sure that you have some kind of safe and sturdy shoes on as well. So if there is some debris or damage, your feet are protected when you walk out from your storm shelter. So again, this tornado warning continues for another 7 minutes, and this is for southeastern Cleveland County. This storm is moving into the Kings Mountain area, as well as Grover. As you can see, the storm in motion. This was a quick warning that came out just a couple minutes ago, but again, this storm, we'll go over here to the velocities. You can still see there's some rotation there and some very heavy or some very gusty winds. This is about 3,000 feet aloft, and we're looking at 50-60 mile per hour winds coming through the Grover community. So with that heavy rain, that is going to allow those winds to come to the surface. So if you live in Grover along Highway 29, Interstate 85, as it moves from South Carolina into North Carolina, you need to be in your safe place. So again, this tornado warning is out for another 5 minutes, and it is moving into the Kings Mountain community. So if you live in Shelby, Bowling Springs, you are fine. Cherryville, you are fine. Back towards Earl, White Oak, and Patterson Springs, you are fine. But this tornado warning will continue for the next 5 minutes, and it is for southeastern Cleveland County, the communities of Grover and the city of Kings Mountain. You are under the gun, especially western portions of Kings Mountain, as this storm continues to move into that area. Again, this is radar indicated rotation. Haven't had any reports of any tornadoes being spotted or any damage. Not to say that there hasn't been. This would likely be a rain wrapped tornado, so you wouldn't be able to visually see it anyway as it continues to move between Highway 74 and Interstate 85. So if you live in Kings Mountain, you need to be in your safe place. If you live in Grover, you need to be in your safe place now as the storm moves to your north. The overall direction of the storm is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. So for those folks who may be traveling on Interstate 85, if you know someone in this area that may be traveling, you may want to give them a heads up and say, hey, there's a potential tornado in your area. You need to get off the interstate and find a safe place. So looking here at any updates from the Weather Service, this still remains in effect until 2 o'clock. At the beginning of this warning, northern Cherokee County in South Carolina was under the warning, but it has been canceled for northern Cherokee County. So this is for southeastern Cleveland County for another 4 minutes. So Kings Mountain and Grover, the two communities that would likely see this storm pass over your area. Excuse me. We've had some heavy rain throughout the area this morning, so any gusty winds with this storm could produce some trees coming down. I live here in Morganton, and about 8:45, 9 o'clock, we had some heavy rains, and we lost our power actually from a tree falling. So it's not going to take a lot of wind to create some issues with the trees, as saturated as the ground is. So again, it is 1:57 p.m. on Saturday, May the 11th, 2019. We continue to monitor this tornado warning for southeastern Cleveland County. It stays in effect until 2 p.m. Again, the communities of Grover and Kings Mountain, western Kings Mountain, you are in this tornado warning, and if you live in those areas, you need to be in your safe place, preferably in a basement or underground. If you don't have a basement, cellar, something like that, you want to be in the most interior part of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You want to keep your head protected from any flying debris. You want to make sure that you have some sort of eye protection, and keep your feet protected, so if there is any damage or debris, if you have to walk out in it, you don't have any injuries to your feet. So again, this tornado warning continues for another 2 minutes, and the Grover community and Kings Mountain, Western Kings Mountain, you are in this tornado warning. I would assume if they were going to extend this warning, we would have probably already seen that. They may let this warning play out. We'll see. We still have about 2 minutes before we see any more decisions out of the Weather Service. So again, if you live in Cherryville or Shelby, this storm is outside of your area, so the tornado threat is not in your area, but again, some heavy rain and some lightning, some gusty winds still possible in those locations. But again, this tornado warning continues for another 2 minutes or so for southeastern Cleveland County. And there's the latest radar frame. It's kind of starting to bow out, so I definitely think we could see some gusty winds moving into the Kings Mountain area along Interstate 85 and Highway 29. So as this line kind of bows out, it kind of looks like a bow and arrow. That normally means that we're going to see some pretty gusty winds along the edge of this storm. So if you live in the Kings Mountain area, I wouldn't be surprised to see some winds really pick up here in the next minute or so as it moves into your area. So again, this tornado warning continues for another minute. Like I said, if we were going to see this warning extended, we probably would have already seen that, but we'll see. The Weather Service will continue to monitor this, as will we. But again, the Grover and Kings Mountain community, this tornado warned storm has 1 more minute until the Weather Service will decide to expire the warning or continue the warning. I have not seen any damage reports or heard of any damage reports from this storm, so that is some good news as this storm continues to move off to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So a very wet day across the Carolinas, especially in western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina. We will continue to see rain and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, and the bigger severe weather threat will be for Sunday, as we could see some pretty strong to severe storms move into the area. So the tornado warning has been allowed to expire at 2 o'clock. So we will log off of this broadcast. We'll continue to watch the radar. This storm, no longer tornado warned, but if you live in the Kings Mountain area of Cleveland County, watch out for some gusty winds, some heavy rain, and lightning. This is Scotty Powell, the Carolina Weather Group. We hope you have a great rest of the afternoon, and we'll continue to monitor these storms. And if any more warnings come out, we will break back in. Have a great Saturday, and stay safe out there.